Man, what a Sunday. I mean, we had the early game with the Broncos and Jets, had the 1 p.m. slate, had the 2:15, 2:25 slate. Like, all around, just a bunch of good games on, man. But let's hop straight into it and just do a recap of some of these games. All right, so Jets versus Broncos. Um, Honestly, just to start out with this, going into this, I figured that the Denver Broncos are going to win this game. All right, like against Philadelphia, they're kind of getting back their mojo a little bit. And going up against the Jets and Justin Fields, I thought Justin Fields and the Jets on offense would bring a little bit more juice. They just didn't. I mean, what did Justin Fields have? If I remember right, he had like 48 passing yards. You want to talk, dude, Garrett Wilson, he's a bit of a diva wide receiver. He's pretty chill. But 48 passing yards, I feel like the whole offense as a whole is just disgusted in that, right? Like, having a little bit over 100, yeah, I see that as not having a good passing game, but 48 is, and I'm pretty sure that's what Justin Fields had. I feel like that's unacceptable in today's NFL. Just absolutely unacceptable, no matter the circumstances. But Justin Fields, it just didn't really seem like he was really seeing the field. He was taking too long. He had so many sacks on the day, so many sacks. And even, just for the athlete Justin Fields is, it's kind of shocking just to see what we saw from him in that game. I mean, dude, he was like locked into that pocket. And I'm like, dude, you can run. And at times he did run. But I just didn't really see like a lot of elusiveness or any awareness of him in the pocket. And like we've seen some times this year, like he's actually looked pretty solid. But it's just like, dude, holy shit. Justin Fields is not seeing the field. He's getting sacked all over the place. I mean, you can't win games with your passing offense just being like that, right? And even some of the passing plays I did see, their wide receivers and tight ends running back, everything was just out of whack. Nothing was in sync in their passing game. So along with Justin Fields not seeing it, I thought the play calling was really vanilla in their passing game, and it just wasn't there. There was that 3rd and 8 where Wilson like caught it. It looked like he caught it, and the defender kind of hit him a little bit. But if he would have caught it and it was bobbled a little bit, it would have been a first down. So on that play, I thought it was him and Fields. I thought Fields did throw it behind him, so it was partly him. But he could have caught the ball, and it could have extended the drive. They maybe could have got a touchdown, maybe just settled with the field. They could have won that game. Like, the Jets could have won that game, even as bad as their passing offense was. But they just couldn't finish it off, man. And then, you got the other side with Bo Nix. And so one thing that I kind of noticed with Bo Nix in this game, didn't notice it in the last game, I noticed with Bo Nix, at times he'll kind of have a bit of a decent pocket, and he'll bail out early. Right? And some like athletic QBs, you'll tend to see that every now and then. With him, it was just like, why are you rolling out, bro? But yeah, I mean, the Broncos had that 3rd and 10 in their own territory, and they decided to run instead of pass. And I was like, this is hella conservative. And with Sean Payton in this offense, and I have all the faith in Sean Payton, I really feel like this offense has the opportunity to be so much more explosive. Like, I really do think that they could be really explosive on the offensive side. I just feel like it's kind of being held back a little bit. Like Mims, Franklin, Bryant, the rookie, speedy guys, feel like they could take the top off the defense, spread out the offense, right? I just don't feel like it's being totally utilized to the maximum potential it could be. But hey, you know what? They got the win. Looked pretty solid. That defense was really starting to turn up in that second half, bro. Like, they were getting a lot of pressure on Justin Fields. And some of those pass rushers that, you got that good pass rush with Denver, and then you add some of those really good corners on the back end. Patrick Surtain being the main guy. I mean, it's hard, dude. It's hard. If you're down against Denver, it's hard to go against them, bro. Even if it's only 7 points, going down to score 3 points, they'll play you tough. And you saw on that last drive, like they played the Jets offense pretty tough. But yeah, dude, overall pretty solid game for the Denver Broncos. Tough break for the New York Jets. I mean, that 3rd down call where Fields and Wilson couldn't connect, that was a backbreaker because they could have won that game. All right, Chargers Miami. Yeah, dude, I mean, just some of my notes from this game, like Tua had 2 turnovers in this game on the offensive side. One of them we saw Waddle kind of tipped it up in the air, so it wasn't completely on him. But, between him and Justin Herbert, I thought the both of them had some risky ass passes, dude. I was like, shit, like, why you throwing that? Honestly. So, yeah, I know he had the 2 turnovers. One of them wasn't his fault. But like I said, both QBs were kind of putting the ball in harm's way, right? Justin Herbert just kind of had the better day, ended up coming up with the dub. But, yeah, man, Miami, we all know going into the season, people talked about them. The one thing I will say about Miami, though, is that I've been saying this, they still have really good offensive players, right? And in this game, I really feel like Miami's offensive line kind of held up. Like, at times they were doing their part, right? Even if people weren't open. And, I mean, you see it in the run game and just some of the pass blocking downfield when they get out there and have, like, Devon Achane. And, dude, Devon Achane and Jalen Waddle, that's all they need. They don't even need Tyreek Hill, right? I know things are all out of whack with Miami right now, but dude, those two are absolute ballers. If Tua is on point, their offense can go up against anybody. I know they're not playing like that and they're not doing it, but I honestly feel like they can. But it's already a sinking ship and it's already not looking good, right? But you have those guys, and McDaniels, man, it's just another week of just kind of him showing off what he can do as a play caller. And I know right now it doesn't look like him, doesn't look the best for him as a head coach, because like I said, it's a sinking ship. But that dude can fucking call some plays, dude. Like, he gets wide receivers out into the open, and I love it. I absolutely love it, because there's some offenses I see that, I don't know, not really the most creative, pretty vanilla, every now and then, depending on the week. But with him, I feel like it's creativity every single week. And at times, the play calling may not be the best, but I feel like most of the games you see McDaniels call, it's creative. He's moving guys. And lots of times I just feel like it comes down to execution, But they did end up losing this game against the Chargers. It just didn't work out for them. And then on the other end, I really think that people kind of tend to forget that Ladd McConkey is a baller for the Los Angeles Chargers. I mean, are we forgetting about his rookie season, right? I know they brought back Keenan Allen. We've all seen Quentin Johnston just popping off during the course of the season, right? He's banged up. But people tend to forget about Ladd, and you saw that last play, dude, that got them in the field goal range. Huge play. And honestly, the dude just is clutch. Like, he's just a clutch-ass player, straight up. But, yeah, man, I mean, some of those big chunk plays I saw from the Chargers in the run game, too, I was like, dude, we need to get more of that. You need to get more of that. Like, coming into the season, people talked about Jim Harbaugh wanting to run the ball. And I know they've had injuries on their offensive line, so that's obviously affected that. But, yeah, man, some of those big chunk plays, I was like, dude, if the Chargers can do this every week and just kind of rotate like 1 or 2 running backs, right, and just get some of those massive chunk plays, you already have the threats on the outside, right? You could really put some stress on some of these defenses. I honestly believe that. Especially going into, later on we get into the season, December, January. Running the football is the thing. That's what you have to do. You have to be able to run the football. So I thought that was huge in this game. And, dude, Justin Herbert, man, like, the first game against Kansas City, he kind of showed off that he could run. Icing that the ball game and sliding. Dude is elusive in the pocket. Like, I've been paying attention to the Los Angeles Chargers a lot this year. And I'm like, dude, J. Herb is pretty elusive in the pocket. And I mean, it's not like he's a small quarterback. He's a big body quarterback. And just some of the times, I'm like, God damn. I'm like, bro, he's keeping that shit alive. But overall, pretty good game. It was close up until the end, but those last 43 seconds, Chargers had that big play to McConkey, had the field goal. And, Miami played their asses off, but they just couldn't get it done, and the Chargers came out on top on this one. New England versus the Saints. Yeah, man, I mean, going into the season, I didn't really have the most faith in the New England Patriots wide receivers. But, I mean, dude, these wide receivers, the Booty, yeah, I do. Whenever I say it, I'm like, shit, boy, I'm saying that shit wrong. But nah, Booty and Douglas, like, they're really starting to get comfortable in that McDaniels offense. Like, you can just see it, And then they have the vet presence in Stephon Diggs. And this game, dude, it was a prime example. And the Saints, the Saints, people don't talk about them like the best team and everything, but they have some good corners on their team, like Alontae Taylor, Kool-Aid McKinney, along with their front seven, like they do have solid defensive players. They may not be the best unit, but they can make plays. And I don't think this was no easy task for the New England Patriots. And those young wide receivers were really doing their part today. Like they were really doing their part. And Drake May, man, I feel like dude's just really starting to settle in with his new head coach and all of his offensive play callers or his offensive play caller, McDaniel. But yeah, it's very clear that you can just tell that the run game just isn't there, and Drake May making plays as a passer, as their leader, is their heartbeat right now. And I mean, he's doing a damn good job in my opinion. He's doing a damn good job. Like, dude, I wasn't doubting Drake May, but I was like, oh, I'm not gonna hype him up like some people are hyping up. He's actually really starting to like get me hype as like just a watcher of football. I'm like, god damn, I'm like, dude, he's good these past couple weeks. So he's really showing that, and they really do got something there with New England in this offense with Drake May. But yeah, dude, also the Patriots run defense. Their run defense is pretty stout. I feel like their passing defense could be better, but I don't think it's horrible by any means. But man, if you have a good rushing defense, that's something you could build off of. So, you know, New England Patriots got that going. And, you know, with Vrabel, it's going to be a tough ass, like, just like, not super strict like the old Patriots way, but it's going to be like, hey, like, we're coming here to whoop your ass. And their defense shows it. Even if at times they don't really, like, play the best in the passing defense, you could kind of just tell that they're really starting to adapt that on both sides of the ball, right? Just a physical football team. And as the weeks go by into the next year, they're just gonna be more physical, would be my guess. But overall, I thought this was a really good game. New England just came out on top, but I thought the Saints also played a pretty damn good game. Like, Spencer Rattler, dude, like, I know a lot of people weren't too hype about him, but it was pretty clear that he just needed like a good play caller. And now he has Kellen Moore, and he's really starting to look pretty comfortable. Like, he's looking pretty comfortable, and it seems like he's really starting to understand Kellen Moore. Yeah, man, I mean, I really feel like he's getting it. And the run game just isn't there with Kamara and the young guy. It's not. Like, just how we talked about New England, the run game isn't there with the New Orleans Saints. And it honestly, I don't think Spencer Rattler is as good as Drake May, but I really don't think he's far off. I don't. I like, just with everything the Saints have going, I'm like, I thought both QBs played pretty damn good in that game. And I feel like Spencer Rattler and Kellen Moore are really starting to, you know what I mean, kind of get that chemistry going. And the Saints, they may be 1-5, dude. They may be 1-5, but at times they do not play like a 1-5 squad. They just don't. Like, when I watch them, they don't seem like a team that's 1-5, right? Overall, looking away from the record, they play like a team that's like 3-3, you know what I mean, or something. They play better than a team that has one win. So I've been pretty impressed by the Saints, but unfortunately in this game, New England came out on top. New England played better and got the dub. Niners versus Tampa Bay. I mean, dude, this was a hell of a game. This was a hell of a game. I was watching this. Dude, I just want to start off, dude. Kyle Shanahan is coaching his ass off right now. And this is coming from a Kyle Shanahan doubter. I am literally a Kyle Shanahan doubter. I think he's overhyped. I think he's overhyped as a head coach. But with all of the injuries I see on this team, he's absolutely coaching his ass off right now. I mean, dude, on the defensive end, you got Bosa, Fred Warner, right? A couple other guys trying to come back from injury as well. Offensive side, Mac Jones is banged up. Trent Williams has been banged up this year. Jawan Jennings is literally dealing with broken ribs and a high ankle sprain. Purdy is out still. Ricky Pearsall is out. Like, dude, the list just goes on offense and defense. And, you know, just the fact that they're like this banged up and the record they have sitting at 4-2 is impressive. It's the same shit that we saw from the Detroit Lions last year. It gives me the same exact vibe. So I really got to give a lot of credit to Kyle Shanahan and Robert Saleh, because when you keep the glue together in the NFL, it's a damn thing hard to do. And it's a damn hard thing to do, like, overall, right? These teams are hard to beat, and they're doing it. They may have not have got the win against Tampa Bay today, but they played their ass off. And I mean, dude, Mac Jones is playing his ass off, and he's keeping them alive on offense, right? I don't think there's that big of a gap between him and Purdy. I think Purdy's better, but I think Purdy in the pocket and just his mobility kind of separates him from Mac Jones, right? That's how I see them right now. I think Mac Jones is super accurate, but I do think Purdy's better. I'm not saying I think Purdy is the same as Mac Jones. I think he's better, but I just don't think the gap is that large. But right now, dude, I mean, like I said, Kyle Shanahan and Robert Saleh, they're doing all they can. And then on the other end, dude, Baker Mayfield, oh my God, dude, that dude, I've been making so many videos on him. Like, I feel like I'm glazing the hell out of Baker Mayfield right now. But that dude is one of the most exciting QBs to currently watch in the NFL. There is no question. Like the Baker Mayfield story coming over from Cleveland. Oh, we want Deshaun Watson. Go to Carolina with Sam Darnold. Like, that didn't work out. Go to Los Angeles with Sean McVay for just a little bit. Goes to Tampa. You see how good he is. Like, dude, this dude is a fucking baller. He's a baller. Like, I don't know how you could dislike Baker. I know he likes to babble a little bit, right, during the game. Sometimes you see defensive players get penalties for babbling, or like a wide receiver, but we never see it with quarterbacks. It's kind of lame. But no, dude, you got to respect that dude's game. Like, he is, just like we talk about some of these quarterbacks being the heartbeat, because not all quarterbacks are the heartbeat of their team. They have other players that are a large support, you know what I mean, and are a focal point on the team. Baker Mayfield makes that whole fucking team tick. Just like the whole vibe. He changes the whole vibe. So, yeah, man, just overly impressed with him and just some of the plays I saw. I mean, on that scramble, that's absolutely insane. And, I mean, they're missing all their wide receivers. Godwin's out. Egbuka got hurt in the game. You saw Evans is still out. You get those guys back, you're talking about some real trouble on the offensive side. And, Tampa may not have the best defense, but at times Bowles is smart enough to just call good defensive plays, right? And he can confuse some QBs like pre-snap and after the snap. I mean, in this San Francisco game, I'm trying to think, it was on that fourth down. It looked like Juszczyk was kind of open out in the flat for just a little bit. Dude, I saw the corner on like the left side come up, and then like right before the ball was snapped, like right before Mac Jones could make any adjustment, he just bailed out like almost like deep into the safety spot. And I was like, what's he doing? And we saw the result of the play, and it ended up being an incomplete. But yeah, man, I mean, Tampa, they may not be the most dominant team on defense, but Todd Bowles can call a pretty damn good defense and really confuse some quarterbacks. And dude, another thing that's crazy about this game is this is Tampa's first game where they're going into victory formation. I mean, Tampa's just been in these close-ass games most of this year, which is crazy. But yeah, they capped this one off against San Francisco. Really good win for them. I mean, what are we looking at? We're looking at a bunch of 4-2 teams in the I guess what are Tampa now? 5-1. And then the Niners are 4-2. Did I get that right? I'm trying to think. But yeah, the NFC right now is really close. That's all I'm trying to say. The NFC right now is really close, and this is just another game where I'm pretty impressed with San Francisco. Like by all, dude, they're literally still in the NFC race. Like, do not come away from this game thinking that they're bad, but they do have some shit to figure out. This Fred Warner injury is something that the Nick Bosa injury is one thing. Fred Bosa has been an anchor on that fucking defense, dude, through everything. We're talking about one of the best defensive players in the league, the best linebacker in the league. Like, do not think this will go lightly, just him being out. Like, they can just overcome it easy. Because it won't be. Like, Fred Warner is a dog, and he brings that mentality to the whole defense. The whole defense matches his vibe. So, yeah, man, San Francisco's still going to be in it, but they got some shit to figure out. Like, these injuries are really starting to stack up. And then on the other side for Tampa Bay, this is a good dub, especially not having your wide receivers. I mean, we just saw it from San Fran. Against the Rams. They didn't have all their guys, and they still pulled out a dub. And when you do that like the Bucs just did today, that's impressive. So a really good W for them today. Kansas City versus the Lions. Man, this was a damn good game for most of the game, and then it kind of started to pull away a little bit for the Detroit Lions. But yeah, no man, that fourth down attempt where Goff went in motion and caught the ball, and then they called it back. That was huge. Like that was a huge penalty, right? He went in motion, didn't like stutter a little bit, and then like go back in it, because that's where the refs will get you. That's where they'll call you for illegal formation. The rules in that are like they're a little bit wonky, they're a little bit weird, but sometimes you'll see it inconsistent, but most of the time, that does make sense though. He does need to like kind of like wait a little bit and then go back into it. And then you saw they were going for it again on what was it, like a 4th and 6 or whatever, like 4th and like 6 yards from whatever. They were still gonna go for it. Then they had a delay, end up kicking the field goal. I thought that, the Lions did end up going up like, what was it, 10-7 if I remember right at a point in the game. And even though they didn't get that score, they still were up at some point. But just that play, I feel like that kind of just like swayed the momentum, right? And in that second half, dude, the Lions really started to get away from the run. Like, it was looking solid with Jahmyr Gibbs in that first half. Later on in the second half, I feel like they really got away from that. For whatever fucking reason, I have no idea why teams get away from the run in the second half. They just get pass happy, but they did. And I feel like the play calling in the second half was also a little bit conservative. It was pretty aggressive in the first half, got a little bit conservative. Too many screen passes. Like, I can't stand that. Like, when a play caller he's kind of running out of juice, calls a bunch of screens. I remember one play sequence, they threw like 2 screens in a row and ended up being negative. And then after that point, it was like, dude, Kansas City's going to win this game. Kansas City ended up scoring on later. Yeah, so that kind of got away from them. But, at times we did see a lot of creativity. But in the second half, it kind of just like fizzled out a little bit. And then on the defensive side for the Lions, their defensive backfield is really banged up, dude. So, going in up against Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, that's not something you'll want. You do not want backup defensive backs in against them. You just don't. It's a liability. It is straight up a liability, and they will exploit it. And they did exploit it in this game. I mean, there was wide open, like in the zone coverage on certain plays, dude. During the broadcast, they would freeze the frame, and you'd see these Kansas City players wide open, and it was like, where's the defender at? So that's something that they're going to have to work on. They're going to have to get their guys back, even the guys that are in. I know the Lions made the most out of that last year, so we'll see if they can do it this year until they get their guys back. But yeah, man, on the other side, Patrick Mahomes, he was comfortable for most of this game, right? I mean, dude, he missed a couple deep passes early, and I have been seeing this from Mahomes a little bit this year, dude. Like, he just looks a little bit off on the deep passes, but he really started to pick it up throughout the game. And Andy Reid, his play calling, I thought was really creative. Honestly, I thought it was the most creative I've seen from Andy Reid in the Chiefs offense literally all year. I do think this was their best game. And him and when Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes kind of get going, they're really hard to stop, right? Especially when they get balanced. Like, they're like run, pass, run, pass, like little short passes. They just literally just hit you with like 4 yards, 6 yards, 3 yards, right? They literally know how to work down the field, and they were patient. They just took what the defense could give them. Patrick Mahomes playing, but Andy Reid, But yeah, I thought their offense was looking great. And you have to also remember that KC's offense is only going to get better. They're only going to get better. I mean, some of these guys that you're really not knowing on their team, right? Thornton's a pretty solid wide receiver. Hollywood Brown making plays when it mattered most. You got Xavier Worthy back in. He's healthy. And then, when Rashee Rice comes back, I know there's a lot of people that hate Kansas City. I know there's a lot of fucking people that hate Kansas City. But when they get Rashee Rice back, you're not going to want to mess with this team in the AFC. I'm looking at the AFC right now. I'm like, oh, Kansas City is by all means not done. Like, they're just getting started. And Spags in that second half, dude, like, he was calling a hell of a game. Like, the Lions, like I said, it kind of seemed like they were getting a little bit conservative in the second half. But Spags really started to turn up and kind of just exploit that offense. Like, that defense was kind of looking like itself. I don't think entirely, but in that second half, I was kind of getting the vibe. I was like, dude, I think Spags and the defense got this figured out. I don't think they're going to let the Lions come back. Sure enough, they didn't, and they came away with the dub. But, yeah, dude, overall, Lions, they're really going to have to figure out those injuries. Those injuries really can hurt you. I mean, what are we? We're in week 6, week 7. We saw what happened with Detroit last year. They coached those coaches on offense and defense and Campbell. They coached their asses off. I just don't know if they'll be able to overcome that with these new coordinators. But hey, man, I already doubted these coordinators, so I'm not gonna fucking say that they can't do it because they may be capable of doing it. But it is something to watch with their injuries. And then on KC's side, Kansas City's just getting started. That's literally the best way I can put it with Kansas City. They're just getting started. Baltimore was one of the other teams in the AFC that I was like, okay, if Kansas City's bad, Baltimore or Buffalo will take the number 1 seed. Baltimore looks like garbage. So now you put in KC back in the mix. They're looking good. AFC, I know y'all don't like the top dog that's been around forever, but pay attention. Pay attention. But yeah, man, that's a full recap of this full Sunday. It's your boy Shady Luke. Be sure to drop a like, subscribe to your boy, come vibe with me. All we do is talk football, and you know how it is. Football season's a vibe, bro. But anyway, let me know any videos you guys want me to make. We'll see if we can cook up something. Anyways, guys, appreciate you watching. It's your boy Shady Luke, and I'll catch you on the next one. Deuces.
You good? Yeah, let's go.